Welcome to Massive Iron Live. I'm Steve Shaw. It is Tuesday, and I am rounding out a little vacation. Spent the week in New York with Pittsburgh with Alan Roberts, and New York, Upper New York, near Buffalo, with a good friend, Mark Frank. He was actually the winner of American Grit Season 1, and he's a good friend of mine. We went out trail running, me and Mark, on excuse me, I don't know what day was it, Sunday or Monday, Sunday, and Alan and I and our wives were at the gym, smashing gym, talking lifting and stuff, and just spending time together the day before that. So yesterday, Fiona and I hiked the Allegheny for the first time. We did 10 miles. It was an intense hike, and we are completely torched, but we're going to go out and run this morning after live. So I'll take you guys' questions for about a half an hour. I want to kick off with a quick topic that Alan Roberts and I were talking about this weekend, and that is the use of very specialized diets or very unique diets as lifestyles, things like the ketogenic diet, intermittent fasting, so on and so forth. Now, I'm not going to talk about these types of diets being regarding their effectiveness, okay? Because sometimes they're held up as being more effective than regular fat loss diets or whatever. How's it going, Joel? Sometimes they're held up as being more effective than regular fat loss diets, and they're not. But I'm going to refer to these diets just as a lifestyle, something you might want to do. And when it comes to lifestyles, when it comes to a lifestyle diet, there's a lot of reasons somebody might want to do intermittent fasting. Maybe they're a binge eater and it helps them eat less during the day and eat more at night so they can go to bed feeling full and satisfied, and that's great. I ran a variation of intermittent fasting for a long time, and it was really good for me. So it was a lifestyle. But the ketogenic diet, things like that, and we're not just talking about keto and intermittent fasting. The ketogenic diet, there are some medical reasons that people might need to use a ketogenic diet, and people just might like the diet in general, might like the eating lifestyle in general, outside of the whole fat loss realm. So for whatever reason, somebody might adopt a diet like the ketogenic diet as a lifestyle, or intermittent fasting as a lifestyle. One point I want to mention is that a lot of times in the lifting industry, in the fitness industry, in the nutrition industry, we tend to treat diets and programs as all or nothing. Like if you go on the internet and say you're doing intermittent fasting, and then on the weekends you're taking a break, you're being looser, you're eating more freely, or let's say you're doing the ketogenic diet during the week and then on the weekends you eat more freely, it's not uncommon to get attacked. It's not uncommon to get mocked. It's not uncommon for people to say that's not the real ketogenic diet, that's not real intermittent fasting. But I want to encourage anybody that is exploring these lifestyles or any other eating lifestyle that's not conventional, and conventional I mean just counting calories and getting in a good wide variety of whole foods. If you're gonna undertake this diet, these types of diets, don't turn them into bondage. Allow yourself some freedom. You don't need to stick to these diets 7 days a week. You don't need to stick to these diets 365 days a year. Don't turn them into a religion. Don't turn them into some kind of a cultish thing. Don't turn any diet or any workout into something that steals your freedom and turns you into bondage in life. That's not living. That's not really healthy. So just consider that when you're trying to approach one of these diets. The same could be said for, I don't know, this might even sound really ridiculous, but vegetarians. I mean, if I was a vegetarian, I won't lie, maybe once a month I'd probably eat meat or something. I don't know. But anyway, bottom line, guys, if you're going to explore one of these diets, don't enter it thinking you can never stray from the diet. Be reasonable. Allow yourself some room to eat more freely on the weekend, or more flexible when you want to, because this is your life. You don't need to be in bondage to some set of rules. All right, guys, I'll take your questions for about another 20, 25 minutes. I actually have 2 cups of coffee here. I have this one, and I have the backup one, so I got 2 just in case I, you know. All right, let's see what we got here, guys. Let's see what we got. Zatoria. Hey, I squat 3 times a week. Do I need more volume exercises for legs? Yes, you need a more well-rounded program for legs. You're trying to build muscle, you're trying to build strength, and a more well-rounded program will be of benefit. You want to get direct quad work in, and you want to get direct hamstring work in. You're working your squats 3 times a week. Make sure you get in some leg presses or body weight lunges or high box step ups or leg extensions. And for hamstrings, make sure you're getting in dumbbell or barbell Romanian deadlifts or leg curls or reverse hypers or glute ham raises. So yes, you definitely want to build a more well-rounded program. You don't need to add a lot of other exercises in, but I would add in at least 2 exercises, 2 more exercises that challenge your quads and hamstrings. So I hope that helps. Let's see here. Not the big guy. I just ate better and reduced calories, moved more, lost 53 kilograms or 163 pounds. Never did any special eating times or diets. The world is crazy. Yeah, great job. And you found something that works for you. You changed your lifestyle, and that's very important. So great job. I hope you can keep it up and keep that lifestyle up. Wayne said, Steve, I've been keto since January. Started at 378 and down to 294. It's not for everyone. Great job on the weight loss, and that's correct. It's not for everyone, but it really works. And I'm insulin resistant, so it really helps me. I understand. Look, when I found out I had really bad type 2 diabetes, I ate very low carb. I didn't eat keto, but I ate very low carb, and I felt much better. But it wasn't until after, like 2 years after that, I lost the weight and I had my diabetes in check that I started reintroducing some carbs. So, you know what, man, my best encouragement is just keep it up. Do what works for you. On keto, you want to make sure you're getting in fiber and a well-rounded micronutrient profile. So do what you need to do to get that. And, as you evolve, just allow yourself some freedom. Don't go to gatherings or whatever and be afraid to eat your mom's special dish or your aunt's special dish or whatever. Allow yourself to live within reason, maintaining that portion control. Let's see. Gadfly, JC, what's going on, JC? Thank you. Keeping sane in a diet is important, and sometimes I have problems with sometimes, especially with vacations come up. Yeah, allow yourself to live. A diet structure, and I have a diet structure. I eat really tight during the week and a little bit looser on the weekend, but still on the weekends, I'm controlling portions, and I'm not binge eating, and I'll only have a little bit of the foods I like generally. But you have to allow yourself some flexibility. A diet structure is there for the 90%. It's there for 90% of your time. The rest of the 10% of the time, when you come into town and want to go out to train with a big hairy ugly dude and want to go out, for dinner, we're gonna have a couple drinks. We might eat something we don't normally eat. We might share an appetizer or whatever. Like me and Alan Roberts and our wives, this weekend we got a couple appetizers. We shared them, we tried them, that sort of thing. So a diet should be 90% of the road, and then the other 10% should allow you some freedom just to live. That's just reasonable. Andre says, what are some shoulder-friendly chest builders? Shoulder-friendly chest builders. That's a very good question. I found machines are not generally my favorite for shoulder-friendly. I like the dumbbell bench press, probably most of all, because sometimes the barbell bench press, if you take it all the way to the chest, the further down you take your elbows on a press, the more stress you're placing on your shoulders. So when I do dumbbell bench presses, I like to take them down, like 2 to 3 inches from the chest, and just take my shoulders down where they feel okay. And you can still feel that contraction. There's a lot of nonsense out there that if you don't take the bar or the dumbbells all the way to your chest, that you're not working your chest, you're getting a good chest workout or whatever. That's simply not true. This is a compound movement. Only you can just go where you lower the bar where you feel comfortable, and you can even do pause reps that are 2 to 3 inches off the chest with a barbell. But I like dumbbell benches. I don't take them all the way down, and you can still concentrate on pushing that chest together. I would avoid machines. I find flies aren't very shoulder friendly for me. Push-ups, I like to do a lot of push-ups. I would probably do I would probably do dumbbell benches for 15 rep sets because higher rep and try to progress in the 15 rep range. But that probably would be my staple. I would see how that feels on your shoulders. See, Christian, how's it going, Christian? Yeah, we had a great hike, and thank you for supporting my channel. And I saw the exchange over at Massive Iron, and I appreciate you guys keeping things reasonable, and I'm very inspired by your change. Glad to see Alan made a video about you today, and yeah, we had a great hike. Our conditioning levels continue to improve, and we knocked out 10 miles at the end. Like the last mile, we were just rocking. We were like a rocket. We were trying to get it in a certain amount of time. So and it's also great, for stress and vitamin D and all that kind of good stuff. Brian BB says, my problem with food is not eating unhealthy, just eat too much, way too lazy. The biggest thing when it comes to, I understand wanting to eat too much, but there are some blessings out there. You need to find lower calorie options that you can make taste good that are very filling. Cauliflower rice is a big one for me, and I know Alan Roberts from Every Damn Day Fitness does this as well. He had a bag like as big as my torso in his freezer. Cauliflower rice has it's so few calories, and you can take a little light soy, salt, pepper, a little red pepper flake. You can even use a very light sauce. You can turn a small container of Greek yogurt, or even a container of Greek yogurt, which has like 80 or 90 calories, and put a little hot sauce in there, or whatever sauce you want, and you can add a little creaminess to it. You just need to you need to stop being lazy, and I say that in a loving way. You need to stop being lazy and find foods that fill you up, that have a lot of volume, that you can snack on, that keep you satisfied. I like to take a wide variety of food choices during the day that I can kind of snack on, that I can kind of graze on. You can take Greek yogurt, mix it with a little bit of lime juice and a little bit of dill and garlic, and you can take a lot of veggies. You can take a veggie plate, and you can use that Greek yogurt mix as a dip. That's a lot of food. That is a lot of food, and you can just snack on that and snack on that and snack on that. And you know what? It has some saltiness. You can add a lot of salt up there if you want. And you got the crunch and stuff. There's some things you can do to combat that need for food volume. You just have to be focused and be disciplined. So I hope that helps a little bit. I didn't say, hey, Annabelle, keto is not a fad diet, it's a lifestyle. I didn't say keto was a fad diet, so I apologize if anybody heard me incorrectly. I said keto diet is a diet, it is a non-conventional diet. Just most people are just going to do fine eating clean, eating healthy whole foods. Keto is not a fad, but it is definitely very challenging. So I hope that clears it up. I did not call it a fad diet. Stop flexing your traps. I can't help it. This is a shirt by Infinite Edge Intensity. And when you put this shirt on, your traps grow like an extra inch. So that's all I can say. I didn't even look very impressive doing that stuff. So, Righteous 353 says, if I go low carb, I feel very nauseous. Is there a way around this? That's your body telling you something. That's your body telling you something. And you know what? Instead of going low carb, I'd probably consider going lower carb. Now, it's like I was talking about to lead off this video. When we enter a new eating lifestyle, and that is what I call the keto diet and eating lifestyle. When you enter a new eating lifestyle, sometimes we think we need to adhere by a certain set of rules or guidelines. And, you might want to go 40 to 50 grams of carbs a day, where you might just feel better at 100 grams of carbs. Don't restrict yourself. But also consider the fact, and I don't know what your height or weight is or any of your health specifics, but if you're feeling a little bit sick, that might be some kind of insulin response. That might be some kind of issue with insulin and blood sugar, and that might tell you a little bit pre-diabetic, or even a little bit of type 2 diabetes. The only thing you can do with low carb diet is give it time. You will adapt, but you don't want to. You might just need to slowly back down the carbs over time, over a long period of time, like 2 or 3 months, and just listen to your body, because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you feel awful and you can't work or can't really spend quality time with your wife or girlfriend or kids. So just be reasonable, but also understand something's going on there. Let's see. Let me get a little coffee here. Yeah, come on, make some noise. What you gonna do? Come on over here.
I'll do this for a sec.
What you gonna do? Make some coffee?
Yeah.
Say hi to YouTube.
Good day, everybody.
She's gonna make a Keurig, so we're gonna be loud for about 2.3 seconds.
Super quick second.
All right, Blaine says, what do I do if I plateaued at 180 pounds? I'm trying to gain 15 more pounds of muscle. I've been eating a huge breakfast, 2 healthy snacks. The only thing you can do, Blaine, is you need to go out right now and get an app or a notebook and write down your calories each day. And you need to find out how many calories you're eating each day, and and weigh yourself on the scale each day for like a week or 2 weeks. Find out about what your maintenance level is, and then build up by 300 calories. 300 calories per day. What you really need is simply just discipline. You need to get more scientific. You need to get more proactive, because there's really no magic outside of that. Get more proactive, more disciplined. Write down, get an understanding of where your maintenance level is, and that requires effort. Writing down your calories or using an app, and then you just have to find ways to add 300 calories a day. Now, don't do it too aggressively. If you want to add 15 pounds of muscle, you probably want to do that over the course of 2 years. If you have some, isn't she's such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
You probably want to do that over the course of 2 years if you have a lot of muscle already. So don't get too aggressive on the weight loss, but definitely get more scientific. Let's see here. Let's see. Wayne says cauliflower rice is amazing. Yeah, and you can also do cauliflower mashed potatoes. That's an amazing thing to do as well. You can take mashed cauliflower, add Greek yogurt, salt, pepper, garlic. If you like it spicy like me, you can add a little bit of hot sauce or whatever. So many things you can do with cauliflower. You can use it as a replacement for rice, replacement for potatoes. And a lot of times, if you season it correctly, most people don't even really know they're eating cauliflower. So that's a good thing. Let's see, Jonathan Hand says, did 3 back-to-back 10-minute miles today. Stayed in zone 2 heart rate for the whole 30 minutes. That's awesome, man. I need to get my weight down so I can run more quickly, but one thing I have going for me is that I can just run and run and run and run. And that, I think a lot of that's mental discipline, and some of that is my conditioning from hiking. We have to grind and grind and grind uphill for long periods of time. But yeah, when you can get to the point where you're doing 3 10-minute miles, that's a really good standard, especially if you're not stopping. And from there, you're probably going to see pretty good improvement. Christian says, thank you, Steve. Next time I see anything. Yeah, I mean, Chris and I appreciate that. I spent 8 years growing the Muscle and Brawn Forum, which is now dead because I didn't have time to keep it up, sadly. But it was always a men's club. All right, it was always an honorable place. And I don't use men. It had men and women, but it was mostly men. But it was an honorable place. We found ways to help each other. And if somebody in the boat gets super offended with the advice they need to hear, we still need to be reasonable and honorable men and do the right thing. But we can't make people listen. We can't make people listen. And if you get to the point in life where you're trying to give somebody advice, or you're trying to share your opinion and they get offended, we have to realize when somebody shares their opinion in fitness and nutrition, it's not life or death. They're just sharing an opinion, and they're generally not intending to hurt you. So I appreciate you being who you are and staying on course like that. Brian, you're welcome. No problem. Let's see. Christian says, I've seen you dumbbell bench with a rubber band. I've never tried that. Was wondering what this does. Christian, I have a really good video on this channel. It is called a slingshot. And if you search my channel, Massive Iron, Slingshot Review, I think it is. I've spent 10 years using that. And before that, I spent 20 years benching like a bro. I was a bodybuilding type guy. I really didn't understand how to bench. So the slingshot helps me protect my shoulders, It helps guys focus on not flaring their arms because they're forced to have a much better arm position on the bench, and it provides overload, which is good for. It's really good for bench training if you're trying to get your bench up. Now, I generally will, for a long time, for like 8 to 10 years, I would do my heavy benching with a slingshot and then drop it off and do volume work. So I recommend a combination of both, but it's definitely worth checking into. Let's see. Dean says, "G'day, BHUD and Miss Fiona." Dean says, "Hello." You want to come say hello to Dean? She's eating a protein cookie right now. We're getting ready for a run. Dean says, "G'day."
G'day.
She's chomping away. Let's see. Let me get some coffee here. Andre says, "I haven't really trained in a month, seriously, due to exams. And now whenever I go to the gym, even the warm-ups fatigue me." Yeah, it's definitely normal. But the good thing is, like, ease back into it. Don't kill yourself. Don't go super heavy. When you're at the gym and you start to feel more normal again and not super fatigued, then start to bring up the intensity. But just listen to your body. It'll come back quickly. Conditioning always comes back quickly. Muscle memory is kind of a real thing. And also, once you've been there mentally, you can get there. So it's a lot easier returning. So just hang tough, listen to your body, and don't do anything silly. Dean says, MyFitnessPal has a calorie counter. I believe it does as well. Not the big guy says, "Where's your partner from?" She is from Australia. What city are you from again? Newcastle? She's from Newcastle, Australia, where it never gets below 100 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe. She's never seen snow. Trusty Falcon says, "Some YouTube gamer went on a 28-day water fast a while ago. Thoughts?" Seems wildly irresponsible. I'm a big fan of short-term fasts, 1 to 3 days. I used to do them myself. 3 days are very challenging. I preferred 1 to 2 days. Um, you know, we just did some good articles at Tiger Fitness on fasting. I don't like diets that are not lifestyle changes. I don't care what diet you're going to do. If you're going to do intermittent fasting, you're going to do keto, you're just going to do conventional whole foods. If you're trying to lose fat, the main thing, and this has nothing to do with fasting or keto or any other diet, the main thing when you're trying to lose fat is you need to first take an assessment of your bad habits, and you need to learn to turn them around. You need to rewire the bad habits. So no matter what you're doing, fasting or whatever, you need to get your stuff in order first, because when that kind of diet is done, and it is a fad and it is an extreme diet, and I don't like it for a number of reasons. It's just absolutely foolish and unnecessary, and I don't care what anybody believes. It's completely ridiculous in my opinion. But I was talking to Alan Roberts this weekend, and the millions of things we were talking about. When I try to help people lose weight, one of the things I try to get them to focus on is during the first month, don't step on the scale and focus on whole foods and getting your calories in check and your portions in check. And then once you have turned around your bad lifestyle changes and you're in a pattern, then you can follow the scale more closely and follow your calorie intake more closely. But I'm trying to take all the bad habits and get rid of 90% of them 90% of the time, and get somebody focused on a new eating lifestyle. So when it comes to extreme, it doesn't do that. That's not my way of doing it, and I will never advocate anything like that for that reason. Thank you, Righteous 353. I appreciate it. Brother Joe says, having a knee issue. Nothing serious, but for now I'm limited. What's better, lower weight and go deep in squats, or heavy weight and don't go near as deep? I don't know what the knee issue is, so it's very difficult to say, but I've been doing this long enough to tell you, if you have a knee issue, and you have to ask yourself, what is triggering the knee issue? What is causing it? What do you think caused the knee issue? When you're in the gym, ask yourself, what is aggravating the knee issue? Is it a specific exercise like squats alone? And if it is, then you need a quality form assessment by an experienced, trained professional. If you have a knee injury, I never recommend knee issue, even if it's minor. I never recommend heavy weight. You're better off doing volume with a moderate low weight until that knee issue is gone. And you need to listen to your body. Ampa Joe says Dr. Sam Robbins said we eat too much protein. No, I don't. No. Anytime somebody says we eat too much this, too much that, no, we don't eat too much protein. We don't eat too much protein. It has no negative side effects, no negative health issues, unless you have a pre-existing kidney condition. There's so much of this nonsense out there. We don't. Let's be reasonable. We don't. Most people undereat protein. They eat too many carbs. We live in a world of the obesity epidemic. Too many people are eating bad food choices, processed food choices, convenience food choices, calorie-filled drinks. They're binge eating. They're starving for micronutrients. And then we have these fitness people out here, like when people are making good choices, they scare them. You're eating too much broccoli. You're eating too much protein. Ignore that stuff. It's not beneficial. And you're not eating too much protein. I don't know what his agenda is, but you just need to filter it intelligently. KCA, excuse me. Thanks, Jay Parker. I appreciate it. KCA Snyder says, hey, Steve, I've been getting a lot bigger in the last couple of years, but I'm not getting any stronger. I do a lot of volume training. Should I focus more on heavy weights to fix that? No. Whatever you're doing right now, Casey, you're doing volume. Okay, I'll give you an example, and I don't know how you're volume training, but when I do volume work, say I'm doing dumbbell bench press for 5 by 10 reps, when that feels manageable, just add 5 pounds to the dumbbell. That's how you want to progress. You can progress using volume. Don't worry about using heavy weight, but progress with what you're doing right now because it's working. So if you're doing 5 by, excuse me, let's say you're even doing an 8 by 8 on bench press. When that feels manageable, meaning the last set is something that you didn't feel like you were going to fail on, then add 5 pounds. As simple as that. That's the best way to progress, and I hope that helps. Rodon says, can you talk about grip position on the bar when squatting? Staying narrow and tight or wide? I've seen how you squat. A lot of it has to do with age, and a lot of it has to do with weight and bulk. When you're young and skinnier, and I started out young and skinny-ish, I was 158 pounds, it was really easy to stay narrow and tight. But as you add bulk back here on your traps and your shoulders, let's say this is the center of your head, right? And then you add girth going back here on your shoulders and your back and your traps. Your arms, your elbows have to come back further to maintain that tightness. In anything, bench pressing or squats, when you have to drive your elbows back further, it puts more stress on the shoulders. After about 22 years of squatting, I realized my girth was so big, and because of my age, that I was beating up my shoulders squatting. So you just have to take that into consideration. If you feel shoulder pain or shoulder strains when you're squatting narrow, you need to start widening it until you can take some of the relief off the shoulders. And if that doesn't work, I use a buffalo bar, which takes the pressure off the shoulders even more. So that's really the main issue. And you know what? Some guys might have a shoulder issue from work or an injury or whatever, and we're squatting with a wider grip. It takes pressure off the shoulders, and that's just a good idea. Somebody gave me a $12 donation. I just want to say I thank you. I haven't got to that notification yet, but whoever did it, thank you so much. Christian, thank you. Thank you kindly. Keith Drummond says, did a full body routine and had terrible elbow pain the next day. Not sure what exercise did it. The outer part of the elbow is in pain. It could be, usually the inner part of the elbow is tendonitis. The outer part of the elbow is probably some kind of, I don't know if you have a lot of inflammation. I'd have to look at the program. But what I would suggest is have somebody look at the program. Come on over to the Massive Iron Group, which is linked below. Have somebody look at the program and maybe give you a little bit of advice. I'm almost done here, guys. Thank you, Christian. I appreciate the donation and the kind words. You have a wonderful week as well. I see not the big guys from New South Wales as well. Jose, I've been doing HIIT training in the morning and weightlifting at night. Should I still go jogging or is that too much? No, it's not too much cardio, man. You're doing great. Do what you love to do. Back in the day, fitness was fitness. We didn't hold ourselves in bondage to gains. I don't care what anybody says. You can wait if you are aggressive with your weight training, meaning you're reasonable, you have a good exercise selection, you're progressing, and you want to run or hike or do whatever you want to do, trail run or whatever it is, do it. Now, you gotta don't put yourself in bondage to weightlifting alone. There are plenty of guys out there who do a lot of resistance training and a lot of cardiovascular work, and they look great. Alan Roberts just made a video about Ashley Horner, and she's doing like 1,300 miles in 13 days on a bike. She looks wonderful. Let's return this whole thing back to fitness. Fitness has to be a part of what we do because it doesn't matter if we look good or if we're strong. If we are dead, we need to focus on bringing up our conditioning and our health and keep an eye on longevity. So don't stray from that. I'm going to go out and run here in a little bit, in a few minutes. I just did a 10-mile hike the day before that. For 6 hours, I was grinding away. The day before that, I did a 2-mile run. Earlier in the week, I did an hour run. And I did a really strong chest workout with Alan Roberts and his wife. So do what you love to do and stay fit, stay healthy. Dean says, excuse me here, where can we find your schedule of how you lift and running training? I don't really write things down much these days. I mean, on my Instagram, I keep some notes, very minor, but my running schedule is usually a periodization. What we're trying to do is do an hour, and then 30 minutes, and then 45 minutes. Hour, 30 minutes, and then 45 minutes. So we kind of rotate. I don't want to go crazy, but that's kind of the schedule I use. And, as far as working out, a lot of times we do upper lowers. Sometimes we do body part splits. We usually do what works for us that week, so we keep it kind of flexible. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we did, last week we did an upper, and then we did a lower.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we were with Alan, we did chest and arms. So, I'm so old, I can kind of do whatever I want. It doesn't
Because everything changes from week to week.
Right. Travis Williams just said Fiona with 800 exclamation points.
Hello.
All right, guys, that's it. No more questions in the queue. I think I've answered everybody's questions. Appreciate you guys watching. If you want some really good information on fat loss, check out my diet book below. Don't forget Massive Iron is linked below as well. My diet system, Flex Calorie Diet, teaches you how to save a certain percentage of calories each week for whenever you want them. On cake, on cheesecake, maybe a beer.
Ice cream.
So
Maybe the healthier foods.
yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, have a great day.
See ya.